Sri Gurubhyo Namaha children. We welcome to our online teaching academy Ekalaiva. Today we are going to start our new lesson in history, Unit 4, Intellectual Awakening and Socio-Political Changes. In this lesson we are going to gain knowledge about different things. The learning objectives of this lesson are to understand the transition of society from 6th century to 2nd century BC, to familiarize ourselves with the essence of new religious faiths, Buddhism, Jainism, and Ajivika in India, Zoroastrianism in Persia, and Confucianism and Taoism in China, to become aware of the circumstances that led to the formation of states with a focus on Magadha Empire, to understand the socio-political changes of the pre-Mauryan and Mauryan states. A new civilization began to develop in North India with the revival of trade and urbanization during the 6th century BC. In this period of major political and social changes in North India, Buddha and Mahavira were born. Buddhism and Jainism took root as major religions in India. New religious orders were coming up with many followers propagating new beliefs and philosophies during that time. Similarly, Zoroastrianism in Persia, Confucianism and Taoism in China became popular during this period. The new civilizations that emerged in the new Iron Age had certain common features. They were characterized by new crafts, growth of long distance trade, building of cities and towns, rise of universalistic religions, and evolution of code of conduct. Actually, 6th century BC was a period of development in all spheres of life, such as material, cultural, and intellectual. A number of great prominent men and thinkers and founders of new religions lived, making it a period of great historical importance. Philosophical and religious thinkers such as Confucius in China, Zoroaster in Iran, and Mahavira and Buddha in India gained popularity in 6th century BC. In 6th century BC, two great thinkers were born in China, Confucius and Lao Tzu. They laid down the systems of morals and social behavior for individuals and also communities. But after their death, temples were built in their memory, and their philosophy they taught was developed into a religion known as Confucianism and Taoism. First, we are going to discuss about Confucianism. Confucius, he was born in China in 551 BCE. He studied history, poetry, philosophy, and music, and he is the author of five important books, that is, the Book of Records, the Book of Odes, the Book of Changes, the Spring and Autumn Annals, and the Book of History. So, first one, if you take the Book of Records, which is chiefly ethical, providing guidelines for the regulation of human society. And if you take the next one, that is the Book of Odes, illustrating the principles of morality in songs. Next one, if we move to the Book of Changes, dealing with metaphysics. Next one, the Spring and Autumn Annals, a code of political morality. And the last one, the Book of History, narrating the events and legends of the early religions of China. Now we are going to discuss about the five principles of Confucius. First one, humaneness. Humaneness means kind-hearted. Next one, righteousness. Righteousness means compassion towards other living beings. Next one is propriety. Propriety means we should be honest. So kind-hearted, humaneness means kind-hearted and we should show compassion towards other living beings. And righteousness. Righteousness means we should be honest in our activities. We should be honest in our activities. Next one, propriety. So we should always follow some moral values. Next one, wisdom, Trustworthiness means we should have responsibility about the things what we are doing. So these are the five important cardinal principles of Confucius. Next we are going to discuss about Taoism. In this picture you can see Lao Tzu. He was born in 604 BC. So Lao Tzu, the greatest of the pre-Confucian philosophers, he was 53 years older than Confucius. Disgusted with the politicians and the prevailing corruption of his time, he left China to live in a peaceful abode. So he wrote a book in two parts, and his book Tao Te Ching. It is a guide to the conduct of life. Next, we are going to discuss about the teachings of Lao Tzu. So, according to him, the cause of human unhappiness in the world is human selfishness. As the human beings are selfish, that is the main root cause for the happiness, sorry, main root cause of the unhappiness in the world. And he also taught about the nature. Nature, all the things act in a natural way. So the law of human conduct must correspond with nature. Next, humans live a life under the regulation of someone. Always we will be regulated by someone, isn't it? So this is because they have acquired knowledge and have not remained innocent. Definitely, the people, those who are guidance, they will be very knowledgeable person. If you take your parents, they know what to do, isn't it? So they have acquired knowledge and have not, they are not innocent. So humans live a life under the regulation of someone always. On the basis of their acquired knowledge, they have built up an urban civilization, and which he says that through that they make themselves unhappy. Next, we are going to discuss about Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism is one of the oldest of the world religions. It remained as the state religion of three great Iranian empires actually. Zoroaster of Persia, he is the founder of the Zoroastrianism. He was pained to find his people worshipping primitive deities, and he revolted against it and proclaimed to the world that there is one God called Ahura Mazda. So the Ahura Mazda means the Lord of Light. So the holy book of Zoroastrians is Zen Avesta. How Hindus have Bhagavad Gita and Christians have Bible, Muslims have Quran. In the same way, the holy book of Zoroastrians is Zen Avesta. Zoroaster taught that the great object of the religion, state, or society is the cultivation of morality. So all the people should know the moral values and they should lead a moral life. So the highest religious conception is purity of thought, word, and deed according to him. So we should do good deeds, we should speak good words, and our thoughts should be pure. And he asserted that Ahura Mazda is omniscient. Omniscient means the knows everything, and also he described as omnipotent, which means all powerful, and omnipresent, that is, he is everywhere. God is everywhere. Now, teachings of Zoroaster, he said that Ahura Mazda has seven qualities, that is, light, good mind, right, dominion, power to rule, piety means faith, well-being, and immortality. So God, supreme being. So these are the teachings of Zoroaster. In Zoroastrianism, sacrifice and image worship was discarded, and fire was worshipped as a symbol of deity and considered as the highest form of worship. As usual, charity was made an essential part of religion, and service to the poor was particularly emphasized by Zoroastrianism. Okay, children, today we discussed about Zoroastrianism, Confucianism, and Taoism, which were the major religions during the 6th century BCE. Tomorrow we will be discussing about Buddhism and Jainism. Thank you, children.